My name is Wayne Cordova, and this is my wife, Tina, and we're Emily's parents.
Our little superhero for Seco. We wanted to have a child, and it actually took us 4 years to become pregnant, and we did have to go through fertility. And it was quite a struggle, quite a ride, I guess, trying to get pregnant. But in that, there was a time when we were going through some of our fertility treatments where we were kind of defeated. We had a couple trials that had failed, and going through all of the hormones and things like that. And, we were kind of feeling pretty defeated, and we're like, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to get through this? Shortly after that, it was about a month before we were going to try again through some treatments, and we were successful. So we became pregnant, and but during the pregnancy, we were happy and everything was great. It was going well. And then we, at 20 weeks, went to get an ultrasound, and we got to celebrate the fact that it was a girl. So we were welcoming a Cordova princess.
I'm nervous.
But through that, we also learned that there were going to be some complications. At the time of her birth, we had several specialists on hand that were ready to just kind of whisk her away at the time that she would be born. And so during that time of her birth, I remember her being born, them saying congratulations, showing me her for maybe 10 seconds, maybe 30 seconds at the most.
Enough time to take a picture.
And then she was whisked away, and I remember Wayne just kind of, I'm going with her, and I said, okay, and I was just kind of left there. I remember touching her hand and her grabbing my finger, and I just remember saying, you're my hero. Anytime that we go through the things that she's had to go through, the testing, the multiple MRIs, doctor's appointments, therapies, she's just, like we said, so resilient and just so strong and never complains.
Yeah.
She, even though they do hurt her, she, cries, but it's for a very short time. But she's so strong and so resilient in that we just constantly remind her, like, you are a hero. Like, there's no way that I could do what you have gone through. There's no way that he could do what she's gone through. Yeah. And just to see that strength just be shown in everything that she does is just, it's incredible. So, we talked a lot about, to doctors about all these things that we're facing and all these developmental issues, and, and a lot of them, nothing could really be resolved or found as a solution or found as an answer to why these things. Nothing genetically. She doesn't have a syndrome. They're just all these little things that she's had to come through. And so everything medically they've said is she's an anomaly. She's an anomaly. So, but for us, we call her our miracle.
Yeah. We want her to live a limitless life. And so for that reason, we fight through the limits,
Well, we break down the barriers.
And we got to break down the barriers, but the barriers are all there. So for me, I don't view Emily's cerebral palsy as the enemy. Like, that's not the battle that we fight, because she really does herself try to push through and break through and excel and grow. But she also has epilepsy. And so it's the seizures that come, and they come at these moments where, sometimes they're moments of great joy that are stifled because her enemy comes to attack, you know what I mean? And those attacks, those seizures that she has, leave her tired, sometimes exhausted, sometimes, especially when she was younger, wiped out for an entire day. She missed her first Christmas, slept through it, as this like little, baby, just because she was wiped. She was just completely tired. And so sometimes those can be really taxing on us as parents, because, as parents, we want to be able to have those moments where we can easily go to photo studio at the mall and say, today we're going to take pictures and it's going to be a great day. When we first found out about Seco, a year before we came, and it was when we went to the Family Cafe, just the Florida conference for special needs, and we remember going up and down the aisles of the exhibition area as parents, of only a few years of a little girl with special needs, and here's the truth. We had no idea, like what to do. We were just happy enough to find a place where we can go to pick up some flyers of different things and, activities or services and like that kind of thing. And then we ran across the booth for Seco and we just stopped.
There was a little bit of a process to getting her here. So we did have to take the school tour. Absolutely fell in love with it. My former background is being a teacher, so coming to a school or a facility that looked like a school for kids with special needs rather than a medical facility, which is what's usually out there for our kiddos. And unfortunately, that's just not a stimulating environment for them. So with that background in mind and me coming here and my eyes being open, like, wow, it actually looks like a school where the kids can be engaged, where they will be stimulated, by the things around them, by what's happening in the classrooms.
I wanted to come here.
Was amazing to me, first and foremost. But then we had the anticipation of, okay, we need you to come back for an evaluation. So we were scared to death because Emily at that time was very hit or miss. It was a good day or it was a bad day, depending on whether she was going to cooperate with you or not, which as most kids are, it's hit or miss with most kids. So that's kind of a norm for us that we realized later. But in that time we were like, oh my gosh, come on kid, pumping her up, like you can do this, it's gonna be, and it was probably her worst day ever. But really, it wasn't that bad. They did come back to us and they said, absolutely, we think that she would benefit. It wasn't as bad as we thought. And they had reassured us, that, there's nothing to worry about. Kids are kids. The first day was my first time actually sending her.
Letting her go.
Letting her go, sending her to a camp or a school setting for hours on end without mommy around. So that was tough, but the fact that every morning they welcomed her by her name.
Hey. Good morning, class.
Good morning, Emily.
They loved on her, they cared for her. She was happy to go every day with, joy, excitement. You name it. Jubilation. She was just so excited about, every morning coming. And then as we saw her progress and as the conductor shared with us at the end of every day the progress that she would make, we just fell more and more in love with the school, with this camp. And, we feel in our heart of hearts that, this is something that's going to greatly benefit Emily, and we have to keep doing this.